Quest integration, LTSS, air conditioning side chats. Again, the whole purpose of this is to go through every part of the operations, talk about at a high level a couple of very tangible things that are going to be different with serving the Quest integration population. The takeaways for today, we'll be reviewing contracting, credentialing, and provider services. And then we'll also kind of go through the last part of the components of the operation, which is quality, regulatory affairs, and behavioral health. So there are kind of four big changes that we need to think about right now. One is with the contracting section in our provider network department. There are between 1,500 and 2,000 new providers that we'll need to be contracting with just due to LTSS. So that really represents almost a 40% increase in the workload. When you think about every contract we need to chase down. The second thing that's kind of tied with that is the new contract and rate structures need to be developed. And so, with a couple of thousand providers, we need to figure out what our rate reimbursement tables are going to look like. There's also, if we look at doing delegation contracts, we currently have one right now for pharmacy benefits. There's a significant amount of time. It's very time consuming and complex to do these delegation contracts. There's going to be entirely new roles and interactions for us. Right now in the credentialing department, Marlene and her staff know how to credential new providers. Within the new universe, when there's things like a foster family home, that licensing and oversight is performed either by the Department of Health or by an external organization called the Community Ties of America. So there'll be some new back and forth communications happen as Community Ties of America determines that this particular foster home is not meeting the standards anymore, and they're basically taking them offline. They're going to have to communicate that back to us. We're going to have to change our membership directory. We may even have to help assist moving those members to other residential locations. And then also in the provider service realm, there's going to be new training requirements and roles. We're required to work with PCPs and other providers to train them on individuals' long-term care needs. And so that's just entirely new roles for all of us. So I'll kind of leave you with a couple of one-liners about aging here. The first one's from Rita Redner, and she says, "I don't plan to grow old gracefully. I plan to have facelifts until my ears meet." Second is someone named Claude Pepper. He said, "A stockbroker urged me to buy a stock that would triple its value every year. I told him at my age, I don't even buy green bananas." And Woody Allen is, I think, one of the famous ones I like here. "You can live to be 100 if you give up all the things that would make you want to live to be 100. So just keep it in perspective there. So the last three areas we are going through here are quality, regulatory affairs, and behavioral health. And these are the last three areas. So there's going to be four changes to these areas right now. Changes to structure, changes to focus, changes to roles, and coordination challenges. We'll kind of go through those now just briefly. So particularly with quality, some of the immediate things we saw that were changed with the RFP, we created the Quality Improvement Advisory Committee, the QIAC. We created a new long-term services support committee specifically to show that we're paying attention to this population, and we're going to be bringing relevant LTSS stakeholders. Changes to focus. Within the realm of HCBS quality, some of the goals include, is the member safe and secure in their home? Does the member exercise their rights in accepting responsibility or making choices among the various care providers? And those are things like, how do we measure safety and security? I don't think that's something we've ever had to look at from a quality standpoint. How do we determine whether someone is accepting responsibility, making roles? There are tools out there, but we've just never had to use them, so we're going to have to use them going forward. Changes to roles. So Aloha Care is now a broker in referring to service providers. So if I were to go out to Chase and say, I've done an assessment of your needs. I think you need home health services. And here's a list of 20 different home health agencies that can provide service that are on our network. It's not uncommon for the member to say, I don't know, you pick for me. So now we're both a payer among our service network providers, and now we're kind of brokering out services. And so this actually probably leaves us some degree of risk of utilizing one part of our provider network to another. And, quite frankly, one of the areas of risk I've always felt in any of the care management environments I've worked in is when you get to this realm, you've got providers that from the provider perspective, they feel you should be referring to utilizing them equally. And from the health plan, I mean, you just want a good provider who's going to be accountable and get in there and provide good services. So we do run the risk of some providers saying, "Oh, you're blackballing me," versus some other providers in our network saying you're cherry picking and giving me all the good ones. So that's going to create some new issues. And then behavioral health as CCS, Community Care Services, as the transition effective April 1st brings over all of the behavioral health needs for individuals with severe mental illness. They're going to have a CCS service coordinator within their realm, and then there'll be an Aloha Care service coordinator for overseeing the medical care and the HCBS supportive services. So now there's two external agencies, or two agencies, different agencies working with one member with very clear and defined roles, but they also need to work together. So again, big differences. Again, I think that's I've gone through everything up to this point. So I'm going to leave you with there's a comedian named MITCH Hedberg who had really funny takes on life, and he has two quotes that I just thought were interesting. And the first one is, someone handed me a picture and said, "This is a picture of me when I was younger." Well, when I think about it, every picture of you is when you were younger. I'd like to, he's like, here's a picture of me when I'm older. Now that's a camera I'd like to see. So. And then his last one is, I want to hang a map of the world in my house, and then I'm going to put pins in all the locations I've traveled to. But first I'm going to have to travel to the top two corners of the map so it won't fall down.